Bitcoin dropped to nearly $30,000 and you're freaking out because you decided to get in right now. Don't worry, we've got your answers right here tonight. Crypto Oasis starts right now. What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the third edition of Crypto Oasis. I, of course, am your host, Donovan Sharpe. Joining me are two of the most knowledgeable experts in the crypto game. Of course, we have Cultivate Crypto, and I don't know, are you guys, I see neither of you guys is Batman or Robin. Like, you guys are kind of like Batman and Batman. At any rate, it's good to see you guys today. Charlie, what's going on with you, man? How you doing?
I think
unmute yourself. Yeah, there you go.
Forgot about that. There we go. No, doing great, man. Right. Just kind of chilling here. It's Sunday afternoon here.
Oh, wow. That's right. Yeah, you're in Tokyo, so it's like, you know, next Tuesday or whatever the case may be. Miguel, how you holding up, brother?
Pretty good, man. I'm enjoying the volatility. Let's just say that much.
Listen. Let's get right into it. So last week when we were on, Bitcoin was all the way up to 43,000. We're on here making predictions. I think it could be at 65. I think it could be at 70. It dipped all the way to $30,000. Now, at this time, I think it's somewhere around 36, 37. Whatever the case may be, a lot of guys, and like there are all sorts of articles being written, all sorts of revisionist history. Guys are freaking out. I'm going to start with you, Dollar Cost Crypt.
Okay.
I want you to talk Joe Crypto off the ledge. Why should he not just bail and just sort of ride this out and understand that course corrections are part of the crypto game?
Right. I mean, outside of that, right? I mean, and nothing fundamentally has changed at all. Institutions are still buying. Just a couple days ago, we had one of the first actual insurance companies start buying Bitcoin. They bought $100 million worth of it, put on their balance sheet. So that's a very, very important domino in terms. As soon as the insurance once that insurance company does okay and they've proven it, you'll start slowly getting more and more buys into the market. And absolutely nothing has changed. This is just little volatility put out here to basically kind of shake out some of these guys who don't know what's going on and essentially try to steal their stuff. But nothing's happened wrong. If you just hold on. If maybe like a year from now we say something has changed, we'll tell you here on the show, but nothing has changed at all. So don't worry. Everything's okay.
Very good. Listen, that makes me feel a lot better. Cultivate Crypto. Talk Joe. I just invested in crypto off the ledge. Listen, man, I got in when it was at 43. I wanted to go 5x, 10x, 20x, and all of a sudden I've already taken a loss. I've only been in for a week. The whole crypto thing is BS. I want out. Tell that guy why he needs to stand pat.
Well, two things, right? One, you haven't actually realized the loss until you sell, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of people who they get caught up in the volatility, but they're not looking at what's the goal when you first got in, right? If the goal when you first got in was at 5 to 10x, well, then hopefully you got more into Ethereum than into Bitcoin. But Bitcoin as well still has a potential, still, 5 to 10x in it within this bull market. So it's like, okay, how long are you going to be in the market? So if you're looking for that within a month, sorry, right? That happens every once in a while, but
sure.
You got to kind of understand the history as well. So when you look back on the charts and you look back at the history, well, in most bull markets with Bitcoin, when it has a drop, and Ethereum as well, it drops back somewhere between 15 to 37% on average on a normal pullback within a bull market. This last one for Bitcoin was 28%, and the last one for Ethereum was 32%, and within only 4 days. And the average length for the majority are under a week long. So statistically, it's all in line with previous bull markets. Bull market's still intact. And if you look at the chart, I believe it was the 20-day moving average.
Going to share this out here? Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the,
sure.
Give me a second. I'm going to share the screen.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
And so if you just take a look at this chart or whatever, so we had these 4 days to the downside. The majority have happened within the first 3 days. And then if I turn on this, it's going to look a little confusing, but basically this red line right here is what we call a 20-day moving average. And so usually a healthy pullback will come to this line and then kind of come back up. Now, this is kind of the pivot point for
Okay.
Bitcoin. So if we do close below, I would say 35 or 34,000 within the next
And this is
several
tonight?
days.
Okay, go ahead within the next. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, within the next several days, then, you know, it's possible it could start rolling over. So, if it does pull
And when
back,
you say start rolling over, does that mean it goes up or down?
down. So
Okay,
it'd
gotcha.
start rolling over the top of this 20 moving average, and then kind of start coming back down to the next area of kind of support, which would be either right here around 27,000, or the next area after that would be around like 23 to 25,000. Now, that as well would kind of shake some people out and freak some people out, you know, in addition. But if that does happen, most of the guys on our show understand, or when they're watching our shows, they understand buy the dip, because like
There you go.
like Dollar Cost said right there, if you are looking for, you know, how much extra we have in this bull market, we still have plenty left. So we always just say BTFD, buy that dip, baby.
By that dip.
Okay, very good. Now, dollar cost, and I'm going to come back to you, Cultivate, because you said something very interesting about Ethereum. But I want to sort of continue on what you were talking about. Buy the dip is what Cultivate Crypto just said. So dollar cost. Now, Ice Dragon Kid in the chat says buy in while it's dropping. Why is this good advice to those who don't understand? Well, it's going down. Why should I buy something that's losing value?
Because the trend hasn't been broken, right? If it was some gigantic drop that we dropped to like $15,000 per Bitcoin, we just went past the all time, you know, something drastic. Nothing like that happened at all, right? So when you're, the reason we say buy the dip is you're lowering your cost basis per Bitcoin, right? You don't want to buy when you just hit 45,000 for the first time ever. You want to buy when it's 30,000, you know, if you catch. So sometimes what ends up happening is when there's these crazy wick downs, there's these huge opportunities where you can buy. Let's just say you can buy at 31, and then it recovers in a day back to 35. So you've now pocketed that $4,000 difference.
Just like that.
Just like that. Obviously, if you're not buying full Bitcoins, you gain that percentage, but still, it's a really cool way to just snag instant profits into your portfolio.
Okay. So in other words, that's the silver lining to this thing, right? Hey, listen, man, Bitcoin took a little bit of a dive. It was an expected course correction, but don't freak out. This is not out of the ordinary. Buy the dip, because it eventually is going to make its way back up. Now, Cultivate Crypto, I want you to talk about what you said a little earlier. You said, hey, listen, man, okay, so you might have freaked out if you had Bitcoin, but if you had Ethereum, you're in the driver's seat. Why is that?
Yeah, it's looking at the upside for the rest of the market, right? So at the top of the bull market, we're looking for somewhere between minimum 100K per Bitcoin, and I would say absolute maximum in terms of the narratives that are out there right now would be maybe 400,000. But you know, I would say it's a bit of a stretch.
Sure, but still.
But I'm looking more towards, let's say, 150,000 per Bitcoin at the end of the bull market, all the way to maybe something around 275. If it hits 300, that might surprise some people as well, but it is possible. That upside from here, right, is less than a 10x, right? Whereas for Ethereum, hitting somewhere between 8,000 to 16,000 or even 20,000 is not without out of the realm of possibility in this market. And right now, Ethereum's at $1,200, so it still has that 10x potential in it.
Oh, wow.
And once Ethereum starts taking over the market in terms of leading the market, in terms of price gains, then you start to see a lot of the altcoins do well. And we usually see that in the midway point to maybe the last third of the bull market. Then you get rampant speculation and you get these higher prices. And that's where a lot of the opportunity is.
Okay. In the chat, Jason Moreno wants to know, anyone on here using Webull? I tried buying into Bitcoin, but couldn't get it figured out. Ended up buying a bunch of Litecoin instead. Dollar Cost, explain to my audience what Webull is, and maybe perform a little bit of tech support here for Jason Moreno as to why he was unable to buy the Bitcoin.
Okay, it just sounds like there's a lot of exchanges out here. It's not one that I'm 100%. I don't know this one by like the back of my hand, but if he already has access to Litecoin, I'd have to ask him, does he have the access? Does he have the ability to move it? If he does, he can move that. He can move that Litecoin onto a different exchange, a Coinbase or maybe a KuCoin, and then exchange that over to the cryptocurrency that he actually wants.
Oh, wow.
It's a very easy sort of process, but we have to see first if you're allowed to withdraw. A lot of the times in some of these kind of gate-kept sort of exchanges on certain places, the coins are kind of locked in there. It's sort of like PayPal right now. You buy Litecoin on there, and you can't really move it off of PayPal yet. So you have to know if they allow you in the options to withdraw, that's very good. Now you set up a different account on KuCoin, and then from there, copy the Litecoin address on there, and then withdraw, and make sure that the two addresses are exactly the same, and then send a small transaction of Litecoin, very small, like literally like $2-3, a test transaction to see that it gets there. And once it gets there,
that's good.
Then from there you can start sending the rest of the chunk. You always want to send a test transaction, especially if it's the first time you've ever sent to that address. Just wait it out. It could take 20-30 minutes for that first thing to get there. You wait out. If you lose $1, you're not that sad. If you lose $1, you send $1,000, you're gonna be really sad. If you
Yes. Right.
And yeah. Go ahead.
Now you gave advice similar to this last week, and if I'm not, I can't remember. I can't remember what exactly it was. I think it might have been the cold storage or something. Like somebody asked you about how to. It was maybe either cold storage or something else. But you said, listen, you can. Oh no, it was he had Bitcoin or some sort of cryptocurrency somewhere else, and he didn't know if he could move it over here to America. And I think you gave him similar advice. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, there's certain exchanges. So let's just say, depending on where he lives on the world, he might not be able to open a Coinbase account for some reason because of the jurisdiction. Right. So this is where we call these gray area exchanges, which is like a Binance and a KuCoin, that they are a little more relaxed. And they allow you to put your coins there, and then you can change them over and then send them back to your wallet, your cold storage, or your main wallet. You never want to leave your coins on the exchange. You want to use the exchange for what it's worth, for what it's used for, which is exchanging your coins for other coins, and then moving that back to your safe place, which is your wallet or your phone wallet or wherever you have complete control over it.
Okay, good. Now, Charlie. Lorenzo Rock in the chat says, I heard it's healthy for the market to dip. Is there any truth to that, or is that, I mean, is that just Wall Street? Oh, okay. Well, explain.
100% correct. Because if you continue going up, just, we have these parabolic advances in Bitcoin's price where it's like, nothing happening too much. Everybody's like, excuse me, everybody's like, Bitcoin, come on, do something. And all of a sudden it's like, boom, right? We get this huge run up. And that was what we had from October until the early part of January. And that's just not sustainable. So if you have something that's not sustainable go on too long, what's going to happen? The crash is going to be much, much worse, right? And that's true with anything in life, right?
Sure.
So it's the same with the charts, and it's the same with the price. So yeah, if it just goes like to $100,000 tomorrow, then watch out, because
you're sitting pretty good.
Well, you're sitting pretty good. Then you want to take your profits, because after that, the crash is going to be really, really hard and might sustain a lot longer than it would otherwise.
Okay, so let me hit you with this. And not that this would happen, but it is possible. So if Bitcoin, let's say I have $4,500 in Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes to $100,000. You're going to advise me, you're going to say, Donovan, this is going to come right back down. So what you need to do is you need to sell off a lot of it, pocket it, and make sure you have at least maybe 1.5x or 2x the principal that you had. That way, when it comes back down, you still gain something and still have your principal in there. Is that about right? Right. So you protect your original amount at least, but you probably at that point, if it's that extreme of a move for Bitcoin specifically, you would protect all of your profits. And we have these things called stable coins within crypto, which are just coins which are stable to another asset like the dollar or gold. So you would take it out and put it into something temporarily, right, for maybe a month or two, and then wait for that dip and then buy back in. And then the goal here is to get more Bitcoin or more crypto, right? If you believe in the long-term narrative and what you're looking, if that's your goal long-term. If your goal is just like, that one move, then get into cash, then, get out. But in this case, we know that Bitcoin
will sustain like over this decade. And so we want to get more Bitcoin. We want to get more Ethereum. So we use those big run-ups to gain price, lock our dollar value, and then buy the dip and get more coins.
Perfect. Miguel, your thoughts on it's healthy for the market to dip. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, things get a little overextended. What ends up happening is that because it's going up and up, right? You want to be the guy that buys the dips. You don't want to be the guy that buys the tops. So what ends up happening is, oh my god, Bitcoin's going up. Oh my god, let me get my credit card. Oh shit, let me sell my car. Let me go buy, and they buy.
I love it.
Right. You always want to wait. You always, at the very least, you always want to wait when it gets a little boring. Let's just say it comes down. Let's just say you don't buy the dip, but it's at a very stable price. Okay. Good time to buy. You don't want to be buying when it's going like this, up and to the right. You want to buy when it's stable to actually going down, because then you're lowering your cost basis, or you're getting just a good price for the token. I mean, in the same example that like Cultivate just did right now with the Bitcoin, right? Let's just say you had one Bitcoin right now as an example, and it went to 100,000. You could sell that one Bitcoin at 100,000 into a stable coin. It crashes down to 40,000. You'll end up buying yourself 2.5 Bitcoin.
God almighty. Holy shit, man.
In that conversion. And then from there, when it goes back up to 100,000 later on in the year, you'll be sitting on over $250,000.
Dude, just like that. That's incredible how the math works.
Yeah, you only have to do like 2 moves. Which is awesome.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, dude, and that's the thing. You guys know exactly what to do in every situation. If the unlikeliest event happens and we wake up and Bitcoin tomorrow is at $101,000, we know exactly what to do. Just make sure you rewind to this part. Super chats are coming in hot and heavy. Hawkeyes M, $5 says, can you explain how volume affects price rallies? Ethereum volumes in some exchanges have been low lately. Dollar cost. Take a stab at that.
In terms of the volume, the volume, it depends on some exchanges. So there's exchanges that have very high volume, and you have to see that the exchange you're on is trustworthy. So you have something called wash trading, where you have an exchange that does volume back and forth between themselves to make it look like there's a lot of action going on.
Okay.
So you have to be very careful on where you're looking at volume, because you could be looking at some exchange called Tiger Bitcoin, right? And it's over $1 billion of transactions are happening on there, but you put your money in there, and nothing's going on. It's literally, if it's fake volume, where like you see Coinbase, you see some names you recognize, that volume's actually real. In terms of low volume, it could just be that that exchange is just not a lot's going on right there, and most of the exchanges is going over at on Coinbase or Kraken or Binance. If the volume is low on there is times when they're just buying pressure and there's not much selling, so that could be why the price is going up. But you have to see, this is more of a complicated thing, where you have to look into the order book and to see which side's being bought out more. If even if the volume's low but it's all buying, the price starts going up. If no one's selling, the price goes up, right? But when you have high volume, people are buying and people are selling. So $1 here, $2 here, $3 here, $4 here.
That makes sense.
That's how it goes.
That's a good explanation. Cultivate. Do you have a different take on that, or are you in lockstep here with the dollar cost?
Yeah, that's correct. And then also just 2 additional points. He's talking about the exchanges in particular, then kind of broadening out, looking at the market in general. One thing to understand about volume is kind of just going back to the question there, right? He's like, how does it affect price rallies? It's more of a reflection of what's happening rather than how it's affecting it, which means if we get lower volume, right, usually it's during a consolidation period, if it's the market as a whole. And as the price is consolidating, it's a show of stability / a little bit of indecision, which usually low volume usually precedes a big spike in volume. So what you'll see is kind of like a lower kind of stair step down in price and volume, and then you'll see it coming to like this kind of crescendo, and then it's either going to go one way or the other pretty volatilely, if that's the best way to pronounce that word. I mispronounced that word, I think, but you know what I'm saying. With high volatility, is coming. There we go.
Okay.
But then in addition to that, it's who is buying. So sometimes in the market, especially in the current situation with Bitcoin, is if we have a lot of people buying with bigger amounts of money, they may be buying over the counter OTC. And if that's the case, it won't show up as volume on the exchanges themselves as well. So just those two additional points.
Perfect. Good explanation, guys. Tamid Shadman with 4 Canadian dollars. I appreciate that. Adric Perez wants to know, is XRP completely done, or should I hold for the next few years while switching over to Litecoin and or Ethereum? Dollar cost, your thoughts?
You already know my answer, Charlie. Well, do not hold XRP during this time. There's just too much volatility. Unless you literally don't care about the money and you're just going to leave it there to see what happens, do not do that. What I personally would recommend is just moving that over to either Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin, whatever you like. But with all the stuff that's going on right now, it's about to be delisted in a couple days from Coinbase.
Oh yeah, the 18th. Yeah, that's coming on. Yeah, that's Monday. Yeah.
That's Monday. So sell it, move over to a different coin. Wait, if you can then speculate much later on, because here's the big speculation that's going on with XRP. If once they do go into court with the SEC, some people are going to start buying XRP probably on Binance or KuCoin, whatever, it's still listed. And if they win, the price is going to go up. If they lose, oh my gosh, it's going to crash more than it's going to crash on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, so be very, very careful. You can lose a lot of money. It's best not even to play around in any of that volatility right there. It's just strengthen your position in a different token and just stay away from it.
Okay. Wow. Very good answer. So I like how you made your position very, very clear. It is not wise. So in your opinion, it is not wise to hold on to XRP right now.
No.
Okay, very good. We've got a $5 super chat from Noble Tyrant. Says, I'm an investor with 0.00095854 Bitcoin and 1 whole Ethereum. Should I dump the Bitcoin and move to Ethereum? Cultivate. Your thoughts?
Simple answer is no. Basically, just because you do want exposure to both in this market, you do want exposure to Bitcoin. Now, what you'd have to do on that is look at the dollar value ratio, right? And it also depends when he got in. So if the entry point to Bitcoin was, let's say, under $20,000, then just hold on to that Bitcoin forever, basically. But if it was recently where he bought both, then maybe he could reposition himself to maybe be something like around 80% Ethereum, 20% Bitcoin. That's fine. So if the entry point is relatively similar to both, you can do that repositioning. Otherwise, if it's a really good buy point for both, just stick to it. And then anytime you add to that position, just add more to Ethereum.
Okay, perfect. That's a very good and succinct answer. And I mean, believe it or not, I was actually thinking kind of the same thing, but it was just a guess. I'm not gonna pretend like I know anything about what I'm talking about here. Jason Moreno, another $5 super chat. He says, "What is Coinbase? Is that an app? I've heard the term wallet before, but I'm new to crypto. Thanks for the help." Okay, dollar cost. So we're gonna go crypto 101.
Okay.
Explain to Jason Moreno, what is Coinbase? Is it an app? Wallet? Give him the Reader's Digest version on this regular jargon here.
What Coinbase is, it's the largest U.S. exchange in the United States. It is both a wallet and app and everything. It's essentially you just download it on your iPhone or Android and put your information. It's going to ask you for something called KYC, which is know your customer. You're going to give them your social security number, your ID and everything and that, and then banking information. And then you'll just be able to buy cryptocurrencies right off your phone. It's one of the absolutely easiest way to ever buy crypto. You can buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, a host of other, like 21 other cryptocurrencies on there that are allowed to be purchased in the United States. Careful not to buy XRP on it. And then from there, it's simple as that. And it's both a wallet, but the wallet is being controlled by Coinbase. So at some point, once you get to a certain point where it becomes feasible to buy for yourself a cold storage wallet, or maybe you just create a MetaMask or some kind of different type of a wallet, then you can transfer those coins off of that exchange. That way, if the exchange, sometimes the exchange goes down for maintenance and you don't have access to your coins. And during that maintenance period, there's volatility. Some people want to move their money into stable coins. Some people just want to keep it there. Other people are just really scared because they don't want they don't like them not having access to their money. And most people don't want access to their money. So this is why we tell people to take their money off the exchange once they're ready, not to leave their whole life savings on the exchange.
Okay. Is that an eyeball behind you? Like, is that?
Oh yeah, it's
Like,
my mascot Doge.
Oh, look at that. Dude, like I kept seeing that. I was like, dude, is that a dog back there? You gotta be kidding me. Okay, well,
The all-seeing Doge.
mystery solved.
Doge,
Yes,
baby.
that was I like how it's in there. That's very cool. Nonstop Dre 360 says, for guys with less cash, should they buy Ethereum over Bitcoin? Cultivate your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of ways to answer this, but the simple answer would be, basically because not because of you get more coins, but more so because Ethereum right now, compared to where it's going in the market, has more to gain in terms of percentage. So a lot of people get really, really fixated on the dollar values, but really the best way to understand if Bitcoin or Ethereum are outpacing one or the other is to look at the percentage gains versus the dollar. You could also look at the cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency charts, Bitcoin compared to Ethereum. But for the most people beginning, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. So percentage wise, Ethereum is going to go up more. So from this point in the market towards the end, then we want to get majority Ethereum. But I would say don't ignore Bitcoin. Put 10, 20% of what you want into Bitcoin at least, because it will also stabilize your portfolio.
Okay.
Because it's a bit less volatile than Ethereum.
Okay, very good. Here's an interesting super chat here from AI. 10 Australian dollars says Microsoft has a market cap of 1.6 trillion at the share price of $212. Bitcoin is a pump and dump, and no pump and dump has ever recovered to higher highs. Dollar cost, agree or disagree?
I don't even. Yeah.
I guess he's going to. I guess that's a disagree.
That's a disagree, but it is not a. It's not a pump and dump or anything like that. I mean, the way he framed the question is no matter which way you answered it, you would be in the wrong, right? You say no, so it is a pump and dump. You say yes, it is a pump and. You see what I mean? So yeah,
right. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So
loaded question.
It is millions of people believe in this thing. It's everywhere. It's being bought up by banks. I mean, that's not saying much, but but it's being bought up by banks. It's being bought by insurance companies, hedge funds, family offices, or smart retail investors. And it's been here for quite a long time. It's been around since 2009. It's still here, still kicking, and you're not going to be able to stop it. So good luck to you, sir.
So what do you think he was trying to do? Like, I mean, what is he like? I don't understand the question. Like, is he saying that this is all pointless, or like, what is that?
You want to answer this, Charlie?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, go ahead, Charlie.
Okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt here a little bit, right? So if he is truly a believer that Bitcoin will not sustain itself, the price is too high, it's just going to dump and go to zero, the Peter Schiff model, like Dollar Cost said, no problem. You don't have to play this market. Good luck to you. No worries, right?
Right.
Just don't look at this in 10 years and say, oh man, I missed, should
have got in.
Yeah, I missed the next Amazon. I missed the next, whatever, Microsoft or whatever, right? No regrets at that point. If that's your decision, perfectly fine. Not everybody needs to be in this market. Now, if we were to take a look at the charts here, I just want to show one.
Let's do it. Hold on.
Thing.
Yeah, let's go. Let me go to my screen share. Oh boy, this is going to be funny.
So
right, what you got?
Data is king, right? So especially on the internet. So I mean, all right. It'd be great if I had this video. Me and John have showed it on the Tokyo Crypto Show on his channel a couple times. But basically, all right, 2011, Bitcoin's $2, pumps all the way up here to $1,100, and then it crashes all the way down here to $158. Then it pumps and it goes all the way up to 20,000, and then it crashed hard all the way down to 3,100. Right? And obviously, put a little sarcasm within there. Just things start at $2 in 2011, continues to get higher lows, which anybody who looks at a market knows that's in an uptrend. So until Bitcoin massively breaks below its previous lows, or even if I was to be, looking at this below its 200-week moving average, right? Yeah. Then, I would start to be like, okay, maybe there's some validity to that statement, but there just isn't. You look at the data, it's wrong. Yep. Bitcoin continues to grow. he said it doesn't beat its previous highs. I mean, what happened here at $20,000 a couple of of months or weeks
exactly.
ago?
And when you say an average of a $200 per week, that's the average for the last 15 years, right?
Yeah, if that stat is correct,
2011 2011. I guess. Well, 2011 is 9 years or 10 years, right? So for 10-ish years, the average uptick is $200 per week for 10 years. Like, I don't understand. Like I don't know. I think when people attempt to, and I'm not trying to bag on this guy, right? But every time there is something good, and this is in weight loss, skincare, the red pill, anytime something appears to be helping people and people take notice and people jump in, there always seems to be a naysayer, and they're a naysayer for no other reason but that they want to be a naysayer. That's the guy he's the guy who just goes against the trend just because he wants to go against the trend. No other reason. Listen, man, most people go with the things that they agree with. They go against the things that they disagree with. You can mainly trust those people's opinions, right? But when you have a person who always goes with the trend and then a person who always goes against the trend, you can't trust either of those. You can't trust either of those, right? A lot of guys come to the red pill space. If I can go red pill with it, well, I'm not going to watch Donovan's show because I always know it's always going to be the woman's fault. Au contraire, like, you haven't watched me. Half the time it's the woman's fault. Half the time it's the man's fault. Now, of course, and listen, I can be objective. Am I going to be biased? Of course. I'm a man. I'm on this side of the space. So you could probably trust my advice a little bit less than someone who isn't a part of this community, who's going to be honest with themselves. But to go against the grain, just to go against the grain, that doesn't serve anyone but that person oh, look, this guy over here says Bitcoin is going to crash. Dude, Bitcoin crashed this week and we're still at $36,000, right? I gave you guys $4,000 2 weeks ago. Bitcoin crashed. I got $4,500 now, right? So, and again, I'm not trying to bag on the guy, but guys who are watching this, who are really thinking about jumping in, you can't listen to opinions like this. You just can't. There's always going to be somebody somewhere who just wants to piss on the parade so that we can all point and say, that's the guy that, dude, naysayers only have to be wrong. They only have to be right one time. That's why it's easy to be a naysayer. I'll just leave it at that. Do you guys have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I'd say you said it very well there.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, excellent. First name, last name, $5 super chat says, does moving your profits to a stable coin cause a taxable event? Miguel.
Depends on your jurisdiction, but yes, currently,
okay,
off the current laws.
Okay.
They're trying to change things around right now. I don't want to get too political, but the current administration's, head of the Treasury doesn't like crypto, but seems like he's out of here the next couple of days. And it seems that the other party's guy that's going to be very pro crypto. So we'll have to see how things shake out. But I think legislation is actually going to come protect this industry, just like they protected the tech industry in the 90s and early 2000s.
Okay, I think the dog behind you is barking. Like, can you move your head to see if we can see if he's barking? Okay, Miguel, listen, Miguel, I'm going to leave you on the screen so that I can get your organic reaction. J Rago 415 with the $5 super chat wants to know. Okay. Give me a second. Is XRP worth buying now?
Rewind.
I swear to God, we're gonna get this. This is insane.
Oh wait, I gotta pull my mic up to my mouth real quick. Ready?
Okay. Oh, it's the first time I've ever seen this mic.
No. Not now. Once all this mess with the government is done with, then you could speculate on XRP. But until that point, you're going to end up losing money because it's going to start getting delisted from every exchange in the United States. And a lot of exchanges that want to do business with U.S. customers are also going to delist them because the customers are more valuable than making money on selling the coin. That's just... There you go.
They just don't want this. Listen, regardless of the value of the coin, they don't want the stink on them, right? Like, that's what it comes down to. I mean, am I wrong or?
No, you're right. Yeah,
you're 100% correct.
I don't know. I can't imagine why. Okay, Fathead said $5 says 2 weeks ago you said leaving your money on Coinbase is okay, but if you do just a little more work, That's when you see outsized returns. Can you expound, please? Cultivate, I think you had said that, right? Or no?
Can't remember 100% to be honest, but
Okay.
yeah, if
Well,
you're
what are
looking
your
at
thoughts?
I think we were talking about like Uniswap coins and things like that. Remember how like
Oh, okay.
yeah. So the whole thing was basically a lot of investors will be if you can just focus on some of the main coins on Coinbase and you do okay. But there's tokens that are outside of that are a little harder to get at. So if you put in a little bit more work and go onto something like a Uniswap and you're able to get on coins a lot earlier before they list on Coinbase, there's an arbitrage of hard work that you're able to grab those coins, and then when they do get listed on the major exchanges, your price rises with the new buyers.
Oh, I remember you talking about that. Yes, I remember that. Yes, that was definitely okay. Okay, very good. Okay, that's good, man. We our audience is paying attention. Dez, with the 6.36 California, Jesus Christ, Canadian dollar says each platform has their own fees and delay for a transaction. With the value of Bitcoin going up, will the fees stay stable or also go up? Cultivate.
The fees should generally stay stable, if not go down, actually, because you're going to have a more competitive market. And so with more exchanges, more people having options, they're going to compete more, right? And hopefully with better prices. Now, the one thing with Coinbase or exchanges that have I was going to say too much power or too much concentration of what's happening in the market on them, they may actually increase their fees from time to time, but that will just drive people off of there into other places. Coinbase used to actually take care of some of your transaction fees. Recently, they stopped doing that. So once people notice that, they start saying, okay, where else can I go for better, a better price, right? And so then they will hopefully leave that exchange, but it depends, how long that usually takes to shape out.
Okay. Miguel, anything to add to that?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. No, I mean I have to agree with Charlie. I mean it's just kind of the ebb and flow. So it's like if one competitor ends up raising the price and the other one doesn't, the money starts flowing that way. And then in order to compete, they'll still lower the prices again, and then to get their business back. And it's just yeah. There's not like Coinbase isn't just the only exchange you can use. You can use Gemini, you can use Kraken. There's a couple of other smaller ones, but basically you're able to just shop around to get the best rate, and then buy your coins there. Yep.
Yeah, that's business. I think that's basic business practices, right? I mean, am I being too simple-minded about that or not?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Very good. Tyson Jaleel with the $5 Canadian says DOT seems to be doing amazingly well. How much do you think it will be worth by the end of the year? Cultivate.
So I was talking about this on my show on Friday, actually, because I think on Thursday, which we pumped up from. I've been talking about Polkadot's since July, before it actually came out as an official token. But I've been telling people to get as much Polkadot under $10 as possible. Now I've shifted that to, under $30 or even under $50 is still a relatively good buy for this. I'm really thinking that Polkadot does strong long term. And so within this bull market, it can go anywhere between $150 to $500. Within this year, I'm thinking $100 plus is where we're aiming for from this point. So there's plenty of upside still on Polkadot. So definitely grab some.
Perfect. I think the reason why Miguel's dog is barking is because he's trying to tell guys, stay away from XRP. I think Miguel's dog is like, stay, woof, woof, XRP, bad, woof, woof, stay away from XRP. Bad joke, but very funny. Let's see here. Ethereum Wheel, that's a clever name. $5 says, what companies that are developing smart contract-based apps are worth investing in? That is a very good question. Charlie, what do you got on that?
I would start taking a look at maybe which companies other like hedge funds and different VCs are starting to invest in. So one way that you can go and start doing that, because there's a million of them, right? And so then understanding, which ones are going to succeed is kind of the question. So you could go over to, there's one of the bigger funds is Pantera Capital, or you can go over to, there's another one called 3 Arrows. You can go over to different sites like this and see, what are they investing in right now? And what can succeed right now? I would say a lot of decentralized exchanges are definitely going to be doing well. So you can't always necessarily invest in them directly, but something, for example, like Uniswap was one that's been doing pretty well over the last 1 year. You could buy the Uni token, and that would be, not an investment within the company itself, but within the platform success. So you could, and a lot of these decentralized platforms, right, are not going to have a actual company behind them. They'll have a group or an organization behind them. So yeah, getting the token related to them is what you can do there. There's another one, for example, called Injective Protocol, INJ, which is also building up as a new decentralized exchange here. That is something that you could look at and say, who's investing in that? Is Pantera Capital going towards that? Is Binance going towards that? Is, some of the bigger players? If they are, maybe I might want to take a look into that. So it's very speculative at the moment with a lot of these applications and a lot of these decentralized exchanges, but they're starting to grow and starting to take hold. So definitely something to pay attention to. So
very good answer, man. Listen, that was a great dude. He asked you a $5 question. You gave him $25 worth of
maybe $1,000,
man. That was a
maybe
really good answer. Maybe there it is. There it is. Android 17 with the $2 wants to know, will crypto still be around after this decade? I'm going to give both of you guys a stab at this one. Dollar cost. Will Bitcoin be around after this decade?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. That's what I was thinking, but I don't know. I was thinking that you would. I thought it was like another XRP question, and I guess it was. Now, there are no guarantees, but what makes you confident that Bitcoin is going to be around in 2031?
Were you asking me this?
Yeah. Like what? Obviously, you guys know, right? I just want you guys to tell the audience, hey, this is why we're confident that it's going to be around in 10 years.
Okay, it's just we keep going back to the same thing with the fundamentals. Is that there you go. Outside of the major indices and the major companies that are starting to buy Bitcoin, and usually those guys when they buy something, they're really holding it because they have the type of money where they don't need to really trade it around as much. But you have these diehard guys that have been buying Bitcoin since 2009.
Oh my God, these guys are rich. 12. They got to be retired.
Yeah, and they've already sold some of their Bitcoin into cash already, and they have businesses already. And then if the Bitcoin price ever does go down a lot, they're going to buy it up. Like if I will buy, if let's just say if Bitcoin ever went down to $1,000, I am going to sell the kitchen sink. All in. And there's tens of thousands of crazy guys like me out in this world that price will not disappear. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And then two, you have these huge banks that see a good deal like that, they'll buy as well because they're now loud.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, because they're trying to get. Listen, banks want to get it on the cheap too. Like banks will spend. They're not trying to spend a lot of money, right? They want to get the best deal possible.
Correct.
Cultivate Crypto. Will crypto, I know I sound very stupid asking you this question, but listen, I got to give it the dignity. Will crypto still be around after this decade?
Yeah, so he's 100% correct. It's all about the community. The community is strong and it's not going to go away. It's going to be here to support the market. Then the market is only growing as the supply becomes less, demand equals the same, if not grows. Therefore, price goes up and sticks around. People continue to make money on it. It continues to perform. No problem. I may or may not have created my entire business model around this idea.
Listen, man, this is economics 101. Like, I don't think you have to be a cryptocurrency expert to understand the principles that give guys like you the confidence that Bitcoin is going to be around after 2029. Like, I think it goes without saying. I got a private question here. It says, should you put your savings account into Bitcoin? That's interesting.
Yeah. So I would say here's a couple ways to look at it. My short answer is yes.
Okay.
I've done that time and time again. But I'll give a little bit more of a nuanced answer here just to kind of give it some clarification. So the way that I look at Bitcoin and cryptocurrency right now, especially the main ones, that you have to know what's good from what's not, right? Once you understand that, it's a glorified savings account, right? If you're looking at it as a long-term place that you're not going to touch your money, great. You have less taxes on it, and then it grows over time. You're going to get better outsized returns there than you're going to have holding it in cash. Right? Just cash is going to keep burning a hole in your pocket. Your purchasing power is going to become less and less. So long term, you should hold more Bitcoin than cash, in my opinion.
Okay.
Now, does that mean cash is going to die? No, not necessarily, right? We don't need to go down that road, right? They all have their uses. Now, should you go all in at the, at the current moment, right? That's another question. I would say you want to make sure that you do have enough of a nest egg on hand for what you need to use in your daily life and over the next 6 months to a year. So as long as whatever you put into crypto is not going to be hurting for you short term, and you're looking for it on the long-term basis, then, I would say yes to that question.
Dollar cost. What are your thoughts? Do you have a different opinion on dumping your savings account into Bitcoin, or do you have a different take on that?
No, I mean, I mostly agree with Charlie. It's just it just depends. You just have to have enough money for life in that account. That's the important part. And then the extra. I mean, I'm throwing as much cash as I can into crypto, even now, and will continue to for the foreseeable future. But I'm not taking the last bit of my savings and throwing it in, because you need some cushion there. But once you have your cushion and it's almost like you're going back to the Dave Ramsey stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have a little bit of a couple of months of savings. But I also, just as an example, I also save a little bit of the money into a stable coin to have dry powder for when that mega dip happens. Boom, I buy the bottom.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, dude, that's like a multi-faceted, multi-angle approach there, man. Right. That makes perfect sense. Dry powder, that's what you can sort of detonate if the bottom drops out. Oh, wow, that makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
And you can store it into whatever. I would recommend storing it into USDC, not Tether. We can go into that another time, but USDC is the stable coin of Coinbase, so it's a lot safer in terms of it getting sued, just like from the SEC and any other stuff, because there's rumblings that something might happen with Tether. So I'd rather have, if I'm going to have my money into a stable coin, I'd rather be in USDC.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Good answers, guys. Ark Invest says, Jason Moreno, another $5, says, Ark Invest has amazing predictions with a market analysis and future predictions of Bitcoin. They nailed it on Tesla. Thoughts on Cathie Wood? I have no idea what he's talking about. Charlie, want to take a stab at this one?
Yeah, recently she said some positive things about Bitcoin. I know, she called it on Tesla, and now she's calling for Bitcoin to have massive success. So I would say, my thoughts on her opinion are, I agree. My thoughts on where she's coming into this market is pretty interesting. I think I've said this on my channel, or maybe here before as well, which is the mainstream or the banks, right? The bigger players, nobody wanted to be first with Bitcoin, but at the same time, nobody wants to be last. And
that's right.
Because you don't want to be the last guy on the block, like Peter Schiff being like, you just get trolled and made fun of, and people always say, like, I thought you were a financial guru. Like, how come you don't see this as an opportunity? Right? Clearly, it's doing well. So I think
this guy's name, Peter who?
Peter Schiff, SCHIFF. He's a gold bug.
Peter's right. See, Peter Schiff is that dude who, more often than not, listen, I've never heard of this guy. I think this guy likes to go against all of the good trends. Oh, Bitcoin is just a fad. It's just a trend. Listen, one of my favorite, the best sports talk radio host ever, Colin Cowherd. Dude, he's been talking shit about Bitcoin for 5 years. He's been talking about it for 5 years. At $36,000, it was at 34 yesterday, I think. He's still talking shit about it. He says, listen, you Bitcoin idiots, blah, 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 blah. Listen, he said, there's no, what was the term that he used? There's no centralized blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, Cowherd is really smart. He's kind of missing the point, because that's the power of cryptocurrency. There is no leader. There is no,
central figure.
Yeah, there is no central figure, right? Like, this is why there are certain things that need a governing body. Boxing, for example. Right. The reason why boxing, and I know I'm bringing a lot of different things into this, but I'm going to tell you all this. The reason why boxing is not as relevant today as UFC is because there's no governing body. Dude, there's no boxing commissioner. It's, Don King, Bob Arum, Oscar De La Hoya. If those guys don't pitch the fights, nobody's watching the fights. So there's the Nevada State Athletic Commission, but they just give people the right to fight in Nevada. There's no governing body. Well, Dana White came in with the UFC. Anything that has to do with MMA, we know that Dana White is the centralized figure. He's the guy that's in charge. No matter where fights are going on, Dana White is the guy that makes it happen. That's good in sports. That's not good in banking. Anytime there is a centralized figure or a governing body, people get taken advantage of. And this is why cryptocurrency is thriving, because we'll go all the way back to episode 1. People are sick and tired of having $86,000 in a bank account and not being able to spend $2,500 of it. I may or may not be talking about myself. And so people are like, dude, I'm sick of this. Like, I'm tired of these governing bodies holding all my money, lending it to people, not giving me any of the interest, but then giving me the side eye when I walk in there. I want to take out any more than 5 figures. So this guy, Peter Schiff, he's just that dude who doesn't like it when everybody goes to the new thing, and now he looks like a fucking idiot. So good for that guy.
And just to mention the last thing about Kathy Wood there, then she's getting in at the right exact time, where it's like a little bit before the rest of the herd, but early enough, that it's still a really good call. So I think her opinion is pretty interesting.
Your thoughts on Kathy Wood, dollar cost?
I mean, she's a rainmaker. I mean, you just got to be right a couple times on sort of things. And like a lot of people were giving, I mean, anyone who said anything positive about Tesla for the last like 5 years has just been completely crapped on this entire time.
Right.
And now these last 2 years, Tesla has really started to shine. The stock price has proven it's one of the few stocks in the whole planet that acts like a cryptocurrency in terms of the gains.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why everyone's going bonkers over it. And people, I have family members that work at Tesla and have become millionaires with stock options already. And it's like,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, but it's that's the beauty of hope. It really is. It's a new future, and that's why people invested. They call it millennial stocks, but it's the same with cryptocurrency as well. It's because we want a new type of money, and this is the future. We don't want the old. We want the new, and that's just
okay. Very good. Listen, the world is going to change. It's going to evolve, man. You can the train is going to leave the station, man. You can jump on the train or you can stay on the platform like all the other idiots. Vic Nova, 10 Canadian dollars, says, just got into crypto, Charlie. Love your channel. I bought Ethereum, Celsius. Oh, damn, I don't know what the other ones are. XLM, ADA. Oh, I know what DOT is, so 3 out of 5. What are your thoughts on Hex today? Is it worth it or too sketchy? Miguel. Oh, okay, so he wants to know Miguel's thoughts. Dollar cost. What are your thoughts on Hex coin? And then we'll get Charlie's opinion on this.
No, I like it. It's basically just it's a centralized CD on the blockchain. So it's just it's a coin that is replicating a bank product. Celsius as well as one of the coins on there too is basically a decentralized high interest bank account with loans. So honestly, I like Hex. I would personally recommend buying it under a penny, which it is right now. It actually went down, I think down 12%. So if you want to speculate on it, now is not a bad time because you're buying under a penny.
Okay, very good.
Not a bad time.
It's almost like getting form. They say in order to perfect your form on weightlifting, start with light weights. I think this would kind of apply to that. Hey, man, it's only pennies. You can kind of okay. So I lost 16 cents. I learned a lesson. Cultivate. What are your thoughts on Hex coin?
Yeah, I would say it's proven itself over the last 1 year, pretty astoundingly well. It's built up, I think, from basically a small community on Uniswap. It's a true it's been on a truly decentralized place where the market decides, right? The prices of these coins, they don't care what me, you, or the other guy think. They just care about, okay, are people speculating on this, and do people understand it and believe in what's happening? And so the market's decided that Hex is going to survive. It survived a hell of a lot longer than a lot of other cryptocurrencies. It's currently, like Dollar Cost said there, it's around or just under a penny, which, compared to where it can go in this bull market, is very good.
Yeah.
Now, will it survive the next bear market? That's the huge question with any new cryptocurrency. So it is still pretty speculative. So be careful, right? Don't put your entire life savings in that one. But I think, can you make money on it? Definitely.
Yeah. How old is Hex coin by chance? I mean,
it was created December of 2019.
Oh wow, so it's brand new. Holy moly. Okay.
No, yeah. Do your research. Just go to hex.com, Best play that all the information's there if you want to look into it. Like never buy anything without researching your token completely full. But Bitcoin and an Ethereum is you pretty much find out whatever you need to find out about those two. But on any other coins, make sure to do your research.
Okay, that's sound advice. Nonstop Dre 360 wants to know, is it bad to have Bitcoin on Cash App for long periods? That's an interesting question. Cultivate, your thoughts.
Having your Bitcoin, I would say, on anything that's connected to the internet for a long period of time, just make sure that you're going through security practices like having a two-factor authentication login.
There you go. That
reduces anybody's chance of getting into your account with any of these exchanges or any of these applications by a lot more. I prefer, to have it in my control off something that's not connected online as much as possible, but that also depends on the amount you're holding. So if you view it as kind of like your physical wallet, how much money would you physically hold in your wallet as you're walking around town, Maybe similarly with something that's connected to the internet, Maybe $1,000 or $2,000 isn't such a big deal, but if it's $10,000, $20,000, then maybe you might want to take that offline, put it on a cold storage wallet.
Okay, very good. Dollar cost.
Same thing. Yeah. If you're holding a
Security
Bitcoin
practices.
or more, I'd take it off. But some people, I use my Bitcoin as sometimes I just need money or something like that. I have a card right there, so I keep a small amount in there, what I need for spending cash. If I do need money, yeah.
Right, and you actually put me onto that because it's not. Wait a minute. Here is my. Of course, I can't get it out. Here is my.
Boom.
That's my Cash App card.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Hang on a second. There we are. Perfect. There's my Cash App card. Cash App Donovan Sharpe. There it is. Cash App Donovan Sharpe. I'm waiting for it to come into focus. Yes. So if you guys want to donate, Cash App Donovan Sharpe or Cultivate Crypto or Dollar Cost Crypt. Okay, there we go. Robert D. Nero. That's cute. Says, is Ethereum yeah, right. Is Ethereum a great buy right now at $1,257? Charlie, yes or no?
Yes. It's right next to its all-time high of $1,400, which might freak some people out, but Bitcoin leads the market. Bitcoin already broke past its all-time high. Just a matter of time before Ethereum does. Once it does, it will break past 1,400 to about 2,000 to 3,000 pretty quickly. So you're going to want it by that time. If you do get any, like we said here before, always make sure you have a little cash on the side for any dips. So if it does dip, then you can buy some more. But yeah, it's still a solid buy at this price.
Okay, perfect. We're going to go back and forth here because we're going to round third and head for home here. Buy houses, $5 says, how do you feel about Chainlink and Wise token for the future? Dollar cost.
Chainlink, yes. Wise token, no.
Okay.
Chainlink's being used by just about everything. I mean, everything is going to be using Chainlink in terms of aggregating information as an oracle. Wise token, I'm just I'm very skeptical about the money in the pool there. Like I feel like there might be a rug pull at some point.
Oh,
by rug pull,
okay.
I mean you think the money's there and then
yes,
it's gone.
I've actually heard of that. I heard about that. I knew what you were talking about there. See, I'm not completely useless. Miguel Hernandez says, what do you gentlemen think about Monero? Cultivate.
Absolutely best privacy coin out there. It's something that I think is needed within the crypto space. So it's going to continue to perform that function. And yeah, just outstanding coin. One of the best cryptocurrencies in existence in terms of function.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's the very first time I've ever heard of it. Buy house. Wait a minute. Hold on. Fathead. $5 says, wish I would have bought 7,002 Bitcoin back when it was $2, and you can guarantee I would never lose my password. 2 guesses left. Good luck, brah. Okay. Appreciate that, Fathead. Godspeed Calcy, 5 Canadian dollars. Yeah, you know what? California needs their own money because California is broke. If you have to put your money, physical gold at home versus Bitcoin, in what ratio? Parking value, long-term point of view. Thanks. Love you, brother Sharpe. That's a very interesting question. So it sounds to me like he's talking about diversifying his portfolio, more or less, right? He wants to diversify his portfolio between gold, physical gold, Bitcoin, et cetera, et cetera. What are your thoughts on that? Let's go to. I want to get both your thoughts on this. Cultivate crypto, then we're going to dollar cost on this. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say it's good to have both, right? Because physical gold is something that just like Bitcoin, as long as nobody comes in and like steals that from you, right, or tries to take it from you, you have sole ownership of that, and it's stood the test of time, basically. So, but that being said, if you look at the chart of gold and the history of gold, yeah, it's bullish and yeah, it's growing, but it has more manipulation in that market actually than Bitcoin does, and that might be kind of shocking to some people. Because, yeah, more people hear the news of the opposite, right?
Holy shit! Yeah.
But actually, there's with gold, right? You can't trade it on most of these exchanges globally with physical gold, right? You trade it with paper and contracts. And so you got guys like JP Morgan and these bigger banks who've actually been found guilty of price manipulation and suppression of that price because they have more of these paper contracts than, or it's like 50-50, something like that right now, where you have a lot more paper than the physical stuff. So will the price appreciate a lot? Not necessarily. It will go up from here, I believe, but it's more of a maintainer of your purchasing power and your value. So is it better than cash? Definitely. So if you want to grow the amount of money that you're having, or if you want it stable, yeah, whatever ratio you're comfortable with there. But if you want to grow your money more over the next decade, I would say Bitcoin's the way to do that.
I like that. So if you want something stable, gold is probably going to be your best bet. If you want to, that makes sense. Miguel, what are your thoughts do you agree with the ratio? So if somebody put, listen, I'm going to give you $1,000. I'm going to give you $1,000. 33% of it, 333 is going to be gold. 333 is going to be in the dollar. 333 is going to be in cryptocurrency. How are you shuffling that up? Which are you getting rid of? Which are you getting more of?
Right. In terms of what the ratios and everything like that, obviously I'd have more. I would have more cryptocurrencies than I do gold, but it also depends on who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to some millennial guy or some Zoomer, he probably owns no gold at all, and it's all probably either it's all cash to him or all crypto. And I would just tell him to be like 20% cash, 80% crypto. If I'm talking to somebody that's closer to retirement and he already has a sizable amount of gold, what I would probably do at that point is I would probably sell half of that gold off and put it into cryptocurrencies, but not get rid of the entire thing, because you do need stability. So it depends on what they want to play around with. If their entire retirement portfolio is already gold, they shouldn't mess around with it if it's that. But
leave it there.
Yeah, leave it there.
I like that.
Yeah, it's always dependent on the person's situation. If someone feels comfortable, like, let them have a couple ounces of gold, that's fine, but he should have some cryptocurrency. I feel like actually it's irresponsible not to have crypto at this point. I really do.
I like your answer, though, because it makes perfect sense. If you're talking to a 25-year-old kid who is just starting his career, well, then, yeah, dude, I mean, cryptocurrency. He's not – guys like that don't understand probably the concept of gold. But if you're talking to a boomer who's obviously on the back nine, he or she is not looking to take – I mean, listen, if you're 86 years old and, you're about to, be in the twilight of your life, what you don't need that kind of excitement. Stay with the gold, maybe have some cash, maybe some crypto to add a little bit of spice in your life. But I like that answer. It depends on who you talk to and where they are in life. I did not expect that answer, but that makes the most sense. Ryan Sullivan says LCX crash still holding. I have no idea what that is. Do you know what that is?
He's been chilling. He loves that coin. He just keeps putting super chats in for the coins he likes.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Ryan Sullivan, listen, he's crazy like a fox. LCX is all of a sudden going to go to like $100 million and he's going to be rich. Freelance Ronan says, great show. Thank you for making crypto far more understandable. Appreciate that. Ralph E., $5 says, if the government made its own crypto, how much impact will it cause on other cryptocurrencies? I want to get both your thoughts on this, starting with Charlie.
They are making one. So it's not going to be a cryptocurrency.
What is it, Joe coin?
It's basically the Fed coin. And what it's called is a central bank digital currency. So it is a digital currency, but it's not a cryptocurrency, but basically takes the same. It's funny because of how much the media and the government and the banks have been against.
Oh yeah, right. But now they're all in, right? Those bastards.
Yeah, and you got Christine Lagarde, who says within the next 5 years, the EU will have a digital central bank digital currency for the euro. It will be for China's going to be the first one. Japan's going to have one. America's going to have one. So by the end of this decade, right, sending cryptocurrency or sending digital currency, and there's going to be a fine line between how they discuss those two terms, right? They're going to say cryptocurrency is bad, digital currency good. How it'll affect cryptocurrency, though, I think it'll make it, like I said here, sending cryptocurrency or sending digital currency then will be the norm. It'll be like sending Venmo, right? If you asked somebody 20 years ago, like, how do I do this Venmo thing? If it were to have existed back then, people would be like, oh, that's kind of revolutionary, crazy. Now everybody knows how to do it, right? And then 10 years from now as well, same thing. It's going to make it less scary for people to be able to send and receive different types of digital currency.
Okay, very good. I like that answer. Matthew Connor says, I'm paying off debt and only have $100 a week to invest. What coin would be the best to start until I can increase my investing? Dollar cost. What are your thoughts on that?
Ethereum.
Ethereum. Okay. Yeah, you're an Ethereum guy for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Charlie, what? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miguel. Go ahead.
Oh, no, just, Ethereum. Even though it shouldn't matter about the unit bias sort of thing with like whole coins, but over a certain amount of weeks, over 10 weeks, you should be able to get yourself a full Ethereum, and that's going to make you feel nice. And because it feels nice, you'll end up continuing on. It's sort of like the Dave Ramsey sort of thing where you like, there's a real fast way to pay off your debt, and there's a real emotional way to pay off your debt. But the emotional side, you'll end up doing it because it feels good. So that's
very good.
That's why I chose Ethereum. Yeah.
Nope. Hang on a second.
Not a problem.
Hello. You got a Miguel? It's for you. He wants to know. Yeah, Miguel. He wants to know what you think of XRP. Oh, that was good, wasn't it?
Pretty good.
I had Devin call my phone. That was funny. I just wanted to get. I couldn't hold on to it. I wanted to get your reaction. I couldn't give a straight face. Guys, very, very, very good show, man. This was extremely informative. We're gonna leave off, Charlie, if you would. I want you to share that graphic. Share that graphic of my portfolio, just to show guys where I used to be, where I am now. And so, okay, so Charlie, if you would, Charlie, go ahead and explain where I started, where I'm at now, what you're doing, the moves you've made, etc. So I started off with $4,000. Take it from there.
Perfect. So you can see on this account here that Donovan has $4,560 some dollars, right? And then we also look at how much that is compared to Bitcoin. So your Bitcoin value has not changed dramatically, right? It's basically still 0.1257 and some change Bitcoin that you started with. The dollar value has gone up by $500.
Yes,
which is great, right? Within the matter of a couple of weeks, no problem whatsoever. What we've done with that is we've actually taken about, because we're pretty close to your entry price, I think your entry price was around $35,000. So since we were around that same entry price, we've decided to go heavier towards Ethereum. And then kept about $1,000 towards Bitcoin. So, most basically 80% or so towards Ethereum, and the dollar value here and the Bitcoin value is relatively similar.
Excellent. So I started off with $4,000, and now I have $4,500, even though Bitcoin took a crap.
Correct.
Relatively speaking. So again, guys, listen, we're gonna be giving weekly updates just so that you guys can see these guys know what they're doing. I've given them my money. I've told them, guys, take the wheel. You guys are gonna do this because you guys are gonna see. These are obviously two of the most knowledgeable guys I've ever spoken to. There isn't a question where they think, what is he talking about? These guys have all the answers. Let's go ahead and end things here. Charlie, tell the people where to find you.
You can go over to my YouTube channel, which is Cultivate Crypto. We have a daily live stream there during the week at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then you can go over to my website as well, cultivatecrypto.com, and get in touch with me by email if you have a question.
Perfect. Excellent. Miguel, tell the people where to find you.
Yeah, you can find me at Dollar Cost Crypto on YouTube and on Twitter. And I will be dropping a new podcast tomorrow afternoon, right after Moon Gang.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Right after Moon Gang. Guys, that is going to do it for this edition of Crypto Oasis. Like I said, these two guys are absolutely the best in the business. Guys, listen, man, I think I speak for everyone when we all thank you very much for your wisdom. Thanks for having the patience to go on here and deal with a guy like me. We will see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.